Hey, you guys. Swear my eyebrows don't look crazy until I go live. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna just start rocking and rolling because I have a 1 o'clock that I have to get to. But as promised to my followers, I said that I would go live to talk about my bus debacles from 2 days ago. So, y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for following me, clicking that subscribe button so you know when I go live. And it's just keeping up with the happenings here. What's up with everybody? All right, you guys. So I'm gonna jump right into it because this is a travel thing, and I think one of the questions that comes up often is if you're gonna slow travel, or people say, "Hey, I want to slow travel. I want to stay in a place for a month, but I kind of want to visit multiple cities." A lot of times when you do, anywhere from 5 to 10 day travel, you might have a set schedule and you're hitting particular places. You might have tours set up, something like that, right? But if you're long traveling, you kind of take your time and you figure it out as you go, or at least that's what I'm doing. And so, with that, there are some places where just jumping on a flight is easy peasy, cheap, and makes sense, right? Like direct connects. You can go from small city to small city. Like when I was in Kenya, I love the fact that I could literally jump on a 35-minute plane from one coastal city to the next multiple times a day for like $35. $40 if you wait too long, 50, and it goes up, of course. But these, it was every single city, every major city along the coast. I think there's like 7 major cities, 6 or 7 major cities along the coast of Kenya has an airport, including Lamu. When you fly in, you got to take a boat across to the local side. But I mean, it was just, it's amazing, and I love it, right? But then you go to some places that there aren't flights everywhere, but they have other means of transportation. And so my mode of transportation since I've been here in Ecuador, I've chosen, I've flown, but I've also chosen to check out their bus system because that's another thing I did when I was in Africa is I used the coach line bus system. So I'm actually going to be posting probably a blog and maybe some shorts, showing like the bus ride and stuff like that, right? So if you guys have been tuned into my Instagram and my Facebook and stuff like that, you'll know that I just did like a 9 day. I didn't really have a timeline, but I just wanted to check out some other cities here in Ecuador, specifically along the coast, because I'm looking for a certain energy and I I can share more about Ecuador, just what it is and what it feels like to me. If you guys are interested in that, in another video, or if you guys want to do one-on-ones with me and stuff like that, because some people want to know the ins and outs of places, and I can share my thoughts, keeping in mind that everybody's experience is their own. So anyway, y'all, so I took a bus tour, kind of on my own, just did the bus thing, hopped on the bus, went to the bus station, bought tickets ranging from $4.50 to $9.20. Bus rides about 2 hours, coach lines. I've got a lot that I can share on that, but I won't do that here. I kind of just want to share with you guys what actually happened. So my ride to my destination city, which one of the places I wanted to get to was Cuenca. And that is known as, it's one of the well-known major cities. I think it's the second or the third largest city in Ecuador, after Quito. But I will honestly tell you, Cuenca got it going on. Okay. Now Cuenca also is about 4 hours, 6 hours inland and south of where I am now, which is in Manta on the coast. That also means that the elevation is higher. So it's about 2,600, I think, feet elevated, which for some people that could cause some elevation sickness and stuff like that. I didn't have any of that. Even just coming to Ecuador from Panama, I didn't have any elevation sickness. And they do say sometimes it can take a while before it hits you, but I've been here over a month. So I think I'm okay. But anyway, my route down, I did 4 cities. So I stopped in 2 coastal cities. Did a pass through one of the major kind of hubs where you could take a flight over to Galapagos, which I think is why most people stop there, and then over to Cuenca. So my bus rides down were a piece of cake. No issues, nothing. The roads were great, and part of the reason I did the tour the way that I did is because I wanted to first do a short ride to see if I like the buses, see if I like the route, the road, so on and so forth. Because you never really know. Like a lot of people don't necessarily talk about road conditions and what it's like to get there. And I will be doing more detailed about things to note when you're on the bus. I haven't ridden a coach bus in the States in probably 20 something years, probably 20 something years at least. And so I'm only aware of us having one, like I think it's Greyhound. We might have another. I know the colleges usually have bus routes and stuff like that. But in any case, to start off, there's 500 different buses, and I use that so loosely. There aren't 500, but there's a lot of different bus lines, which means that you have the pick of the gamut. There's probably a bus leaving every 20 minutes. Obviously, smaller cities, you're going to have fewer routes. But for the most part, you're probably trying to get to the next biggest city. So it works out. So anyway, I get all the way to Cuenca after, a week of traipsing around, checking out a couple other cities and stuff like that. Cuenca is amazing. I'm going to do a separate video or blog on that. And share some of my experience. I ended up extending my stay 3 more days when I was in Cuenca because I liked it so much. What I didn't like was the cold. So it is quite a bit chillier there. About 65, 70, 75 maybe the highest. And that's like, in and out during the day. So it doesn't really stay super warm. And that's great for some people who need mild climate, right? But it does get colder at night as well, okay? All right, so on the way back, y'all, let me tell y'all what happened. So this is what happened. Oh boy. So I decided I was gonna just come straight to Manta, no stops, no city stops on my way back. I'm ready to get back, had to take care of a few things. And then I'm gonna do another tour going out because I do like the bus system. It is super easy. Just gotta know how to finagle it. I am not an avid or fluent Spanish speaker, or even mildly fluent, or even the beginning of the F. But I'm able to finagle, and I will be sharing tips on how to do that as well separately. So on the way back, one of the things that I share with people, some tips around how to get around. When you go from Guayaquil to Cuenca and Cuenca back, you literally have to go through the mountains, okay? Cashapp, the national park, all of that. You are literally up and down in these mountains. So those videos y'all see with the buses and thing, all on the side, and you can literally see the drop off. I have video of that. And these buses be moving. So needless to say, you're going to be a lot. On our way up, it was very foggy. I think it may have even been wet. So thank God I probably couldn't see, because on the way, like, it was no issues on the way. But on the coming back, you see all of it. Majestic, beautiful. You're in the mountains. It was a beautiful, clear day on the way back. And guess what? We had a blowout. I have it on video because I literally woke up probably 2 minutes before the blowout happened and just started recording, because I was like, oh, we're just like moving. Let me, something just made me turn the video. Not even that I had anything good to see, because I was on the wall side. So I was on the mountain side, so there's really nothing for me to see. But for whatever reason, I started videoing and pop, something flies through the window and you hear it, and not through the window, to the window, kind of hits the window and pops off. I'm like, oh, we just blew a tire. And I will tell you this. Okay, so it's one of the fears that you have is, oh my God. Can they control these buses? So we're literally at that point, I think we were going, everything is like a decline or an incline. So you do this like multiple times, and it's about 3 hours in the mountains, y'all. So this ain't no joke. Like, and so now I'm trying to pull up my map and I give you tips on being prepared in these like instances, because now I want to see like how much further do we have to go. So we pull over and you could just see the smoke coming. I'm like, okay, is the bus on fire? Like, did it, because it never really wobbled, but at that point, but you knew something blew. And then when you get out, you could smell the tire. So they braced the wheels and put like I don't know, wood thingies so the tires won't roll. Like this big bus, all it needs is a piece of slab of wood. It won't roll. I was like, okay then. So they had everybody get off the bus. It wasn't very many of us on, probably less than 20 people on the bus. We get off, we're on the side of the road. I just have to say this. Why we have a baños, a toilet on the bus. Why did every guy get off this bus and piss on the side of the road? I'm trying to take video. They pissing in my video. I was like, oh well. You ain't got no shame. I'm not gonna turn the camera. I mean, you can't see nothing, but I'm just like, there's a whole toilet on the bus. Anyway, fine, so be it. So we're sitting there, and I think they're trying to figure out what to do. I'm looking at the map, and it shows we're at least another hour before we get out of the mountains. At least, proximity is like, how you do your finger. And so till it gets straight. And what I mean, like, you could, when it's doing all this and that and the other, it feels like, you're still in the mountains, or you get the concept that maybe you're still in the mountains. Once I saw the straight road, I figure we can't probably still be in the mountains. We probably have to be on flat land because it's straight all the way, the rest of the way. So I'm calculating about 45 minutes to another hour. Well, no. Let me say this. We were about an hour and a half from the destination. So probably another 30 to 40 minutes in the mountains. 30 minutes, maybe. The way that he was flying, probably 20 minutes. So after about 10 minutes, they usher everybody back on the bus. And here's me. I'm thinking maybe I should flag somebody down. Like, does Uber come up here? Can I catch an Uber? Because Cuenca doesn't have Uber, and we weren't really in Cuenca anymore, and that's why I doubt it. But I'm like, somebody would, stop, because I'm just leery about, should I get back on this bus? It's like, when you see one of those carnival rides and it's shaking and moving and shifting about, but everybody's on this ride and you get on the ride anyway after you saw that, like, duh. not smart. Right? All right, so we get back on the bus. I'm tense. We all like this. We kind of looking and watching. He proceeds to continue driving very slowly, and he's using air brakes. And the reason I say he's using air brakes because you can actually hear it, and it's like pumping. But this was the coolest thing, and I ain't gonna get through. Maybe I'll get through the other part. This was the coolest thing, and I noticed this in other places, how good they are at problem solving. Like they figure it out. So, because my thought is, okay, there's no way another bus is going to come and get us. Like, that's just not how it works, right? So how do we get down? Like, and we're so far in on either side, they would have had to send one from inland, like Guayaquil, and that would take an hour or two. So I think what they know is this is why there's so many wheels on the bus. Wheels on the bus go round and round. Why there's so many, because it was like the inner wheel, not the outer wheel that blew. But I've also had a tire blow, so this is not an Ecuadorian thing. It blew when we were in Egypt and I was going from Hurghada to Cairo, and he kept rolling out like, we were like, and he was flying, and I got off at a certain stop and walked around to the bus, and the whole tire was shredded, and they were gonna keep going. My friend was on, she was gonna go all the way to the center. We were in Cairo, but I got off at a stop because it's closer to the airport. They ended up telling everybody to get off. So anyway, back to Ecuador. So we get back on the bus. We're slowly making our way down. Now we're literally declining. So we're still going around the curves, all of that. And what they do is they stop, because obviously this happens. People have tire blowouts. To a tire shop. There was a tire shop kind of like down at the base. They pulled over. I video. They probably were asking, "Hey, can you guys fix our tire? Or do you have like a spare tire, whatever? A tire we could buy." I'm sure, something along those lines. I don't know. I couldn't hear him. The guy must have been like, "Nah, we can't help you. Go into town." So he jumps back on the bus. And so most of these buses have two people on them. So they have the driver, and then they have somebody that sits and helps out, answers questions, brings people on, opens and closes the door, goes and helps people in the back, whatever the case may be. So there's always two people from the company on the bus, which is actually really nice. So he jumps back on, we keep moving, and I'm just like, okay, so we're like down on plain level ground, and we roll into town. He pulls over. There's a place where these guys have these massive tires, obviously for semis and buses and stuff. Rolls up. We're still on the bus. I still don't think we got in late, quite frankly, because it's supposed to be 4 hours. And pull up. The guy immediately comes over, starts jacking the bus, takes both tires off. They wheel it, bring in another tire, replace the tire, take the bad tire off to the guy. He pulls the rim off. They put the rim in the storage. Everything. He hands the dude $5. Now, I'm assuming that's not what the cost is, although it only costs like $1, $2 to fix a tire on a moped, quick second in Thailand. But this is they put on a brand new tire, right? So he gave the guy $5 because they used USD, and I saw it was $5. I was right by the window. But I was like, they could not have, that can't be to pay for the whole thing. Maybe they bill the company, the bus company, and then that was this tip because they stopped and helped us. So then we moving and shaking. They put the tire back on, and quite frankly, it actually started riding a little worse, if I might say, because now it's shaking, and all of that. I think I'm going to be interrupted here. I think they're coming to get my laundry, so I apologize if I have to. Oh no, there's somebody across. They're supposed to come get my laundry. So anyway, all right, so that was the first thing. That was the first leg. So we finally get to the bus station. Now I'm walking around. I'm going to share with you guys how to figure out, because if you look, there's probably 100 stalls. So for every bus line, there is a stall, agent. And so you'll be walking and you hear all these people yelling, yada, yada, trying to, which is helpful because then at least where they're going. And all you have to do is walk up to a window. You can look at some of the signs, kind of get an idea of where you're going. So you could kind of tell if it's inland by looking at a map to see which direction. So you want to kind of get one of the routes that's going towards the coast, right? So I just walked up to one and I'll say Manta, or wherever I'm going, and they'll be like, no, we can't help you go that way. And you just go until you find one, and then like multiple ones will tell you whether or not they have, a bus leaving. They let you know the times, and I have basically gotten to the bus station within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and 20 minutes of a bus arriving and leaving. So it's without a plan, without necessarily knowing the schedule, except I know that they pretty much leave every 20, 30 minutes, and sometimes there's a gap in between. So this next route, I knew I needed like 4 hours. I was trying to get back before it got too late, because, you just never know what the roads are. And I figure we're going straight up the center, inland, and not necessarily on the coast, because this is a shorter route. So anyway, get everything settled, buy my ticket. That was only $7 for that ticket. The bus pulled up, and we're all getting settled. I got my seat. Everything is good. And then we're heading to my final destination, which is Manta. We are literally an hour and 18 minutes. No. 18 minutes. So, I don't know, 10 miles from the bus station. It's dark now. I happen to I dozed off, or I don't know what I was doing, and I looked out the window because you notice the bus is like irking, jerking back and forth, and I'm just like, what in the heck? Look out the window, you see a car, and it's like they're trying to go around, because when you're in the city, everybody tries to, you know, be the boss and claim they lane or whatever. You would think a bus people would get out of the way. Well, this guy didn't. And I watched this and I was like, I'm not going to share because I got to go. I'm ready to get home. The car was a taxi, slammed on its brakes. There was no one in front of him, slammed on his brakes, and the bus, I think I have it on video. I don't know if I videoed this or not. Hit the car. And I was like, no freaking way. Are you kidding me? No, I think there's more damage on the bus than there was on the car, quite frankly. And so we're all sitting there. We're sitting in the middle. The guy wouldn't move. He turned off his car, everything. I guess he felt like he probably got cashed out for the day. But it was almost, I don't know who started it or whatever, but the guy slammed on his brakes. And because he knew the bus wasn't going to be able to stop. He knew he wasn't going to be able to stop. And we hit him. The bus driver hit him. And so we're sitting there and I'm like, no way. But this was the kicker, right? Because I'm like, well, let me off. But this was the leg where they made me, I had a backpack and that's all I had. But because I guess they knew that the bus was full, and the seats are a little bit smaller on this one. On some of them, there's like a lot of leg room. This one is a little bit smaller, so they wouldn't let me bring my bag on. They were like, you got to check it, which I think they wish they would have let me because they ran out of space. Anyway, I didn't have my bag, so I had to I was like, okay, I don't speak fluent Spanish. They're in a tizzy. They're waiting on the police, all this stuff. It's nighttime. It's only like 8 o'clock, but it's dark, I'm ready to go. And we're close enough that I could just call an Uber because they have Uber here in Manta. And so I'm like, or InDriver. I'm like, I could just get off, but I got to be able to get my bag. But we're still in the middle of the street. So I'm like, all right, they're not letting anybody get their bags. Some people jumped off. I think they were going to try to jump on another bus, which they could have allowed people to offload and jump on another bus and take us in or whatever. But at this point, I'm literally either 18 minutes from my house or 18 minutes from the bus station. So I want to just give me my stuff, right? Because I'm a solution person. Like I'm not struggling. It's not like we were hours away. And even if we were, I would have figured it out. I'm sure they would have had a solution for us or whatever. But we were close enough that it's nothing but a taxi ride. Even, jumping in a taxi, just, So police finally come. Finally. Well, they were there. They were there pretty early. And I guess everybody's pleading their case, saying what happened with this, with that, with the other. And so they're trying to now force the guy. The cops seemed like they couldn't even get the guy in the taxi to move his car. So finally got him to move his car out of the way so the bus could move. Because now we're like blocking all the traffic because we're like in between two lanes and all of that. And so they finally get this guy to move. It was fun. They finally get this guy to move over, and then the bus moves and pulls up by the gas station. So then we start all kind of peeling out of the bus because it's like, all right, so I go and I have my little tag for my bag, and I go in as good of broken Spanglish as I possibly can, ask about getting my bag, or can we get bags. And at that point they were opening up all the thingies to give people their things, and people, you got to figure out how to get home at this point. So now taxis are coming because of course they're going to monopolize on this. It was basically a $5 ride in an Uber, but I decided to just jump in the first cab, which ended up costing me like $12. So yeah, they overcharged me, but I really didn't care at that point. But basically got my bag, just walked right over. As soon as another taxi pulled up, I just told them where I was going. It was literally an 18-minute drive. And they drove me basically to the entrance. We have security, and it's just easier rather than them doing the security and checking underneath the car and stuff. I just walk from the gate to my apartment because the only people that are in here are the people who live here. So literally I had a blowout driving down the mountain, a big mountain, a big old doggone mountain. And we got in a bus wreck, bus accident. I don't know. The bus legend tells that the bus is still there with the taxi driver. I don't know. But it was a blessing. Both incidents happened literally when we were almost in out of harm's way. You know what I'm saying? Um, and those are like, to me, those are things that happen, that can happen at any given time, especially a blowout. You can't really control a blowout. Although when they did take the tire off, it was bald. I mean, it was like really flat. I ain't gonna lie. But it's the inner tire. Y'all gotta know when you're on these places, no different than flying in an airplane. We know some of these planes have been in service for so long, and some of them you get in them and it's just old. We still get in them and fly. I can show you my video from Belize when I sat in the cockpit and flew down to Placentia because I was on the plane by myself. And it was super, 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 super old plane, but I mean, it makes it to its destination. You just pray on the way, I guess. So, tune in I got to jump on another meeting that I have today, but I want to share like more like for people who want to know, how to catch buses, what are some of the ins and outs so that they don't feel like it's such a daunting thing to do. Just different ways to move around, feel comfortable, the cost, plan. I can show you some ways that you can actually see in advance what some of the rides are. And if you're a person who gets kind of frazzled quickly, other ways to move about. And then I have a suggestion. If you're not a mountain person, you can actually get to Cuenca and Guayaquil from Guayaquil or wherever without the bus system as well. So I have some tips on those other options. So you guys stay, click that subscribe button. I'm gonna try to add more stuff from the trip because I was gone, like I said, 9 days, visited 3 cities, technically passed through another one to make it 4th. And then I'll be heading back out soon to check out a couple other places. It's supposed to be more like party towns, but like just more activity. Because a lot of these places, I will just simply say, Ecuador is a very family-oriented place. So this is a fantastic place for people who want to retire. And when I mean retire and sit and just be peace and quiet. I mean, it's not always quiet. There's parties and stuff and clubs everywhere, I think. But really, really quiet if you already have a significant other. Even if you don't, you just want to be by yourself and not have a lot going on. Ecuador is a place for that, but hitting some of these other towns, you'll find some highs and lows in places where there's a nice little mix, and Cuenca is one of those. So guys, check back for my updates on those cities. Let me know, give me some likes or thumbs ups or comments, if you guys found that my bus ride debacles interesting. Luckily, I am still frolicking about, so it was meant for me to make it another day, y'all, to share more information with you. So even through all of that, I am not concerned about being on a bus. It's really no different than being on a plane and something happening. We still get on planes, right? And so I just want to be able to share. Hey. Oh, thank you. Well, I don't have any choice to be but to be fearless. But yeah, it was fun, my trip, and I can't wait to take another one as I home base and figure things out. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here so I can jump on my next call that starts in 1 minute. Yes, Sandra, listen. So I had a brain fart. I literally was like, trying to look at the name. I didn't see now I can see your picture. I was like, Lacta Legacy. Okay. Hey, Sandra. How are you, girl? Actually, myself and Sonia and another friend of mine, Joy, we're going to be talking about bringing bringing sand to the beach tomorrow at 2:00. So you guys tune in for that. We're going to be talking about dating experiences, Should you, is it easier to find people when you arrive in different places to date? Or is it better to, bring somebody from the crib? We're going to talk about it tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on my YouTube. So you guys tune in for that. And yeah, if you guys are on here, check out From Lack to Legacy. Sandra's got a fantastic YouTube channel that talks about wealth and making money, and I think you even talk about crypto investing and things like that. It's some great information, you guys. Definitely check that out. I've been on a couple calls, YouTube chats about traveling abroad with Sandra. So we haven't physically met yet. Maybe we will when we cross paths here along our travel journey. But yeah, so investments, options, different things like that is what she talks about on her YouTube channel. So you guys, please subscribe, check it out. Just click on her picture and you'll get to her page, and then you'll have direct access. I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. Thanks y'all for always tuning in. Sandra, it was so good to chat with you really quick before I go. Until the next Sisters Abroad chat, or whenever I'm sure we'll speak really soon. I'll see you guys. I'm out of here. Y'all know the drill. Toodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease.